Hi. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my ISTE standards, kind of my reflection about what I've done so far, how I feel I've been successful, in places I may need to grow as I move forward. What I'll be doing is talking about each standard individually and kind of breaking down, okay, what is the standard? How do I feel like I've met or not met my goals? And where I'll be taking it in the future. My first standard that I chose was ISTE Standard 2.3, which is Citizen. It reads, educators inspire students to positively contribute to and responsibly participate in the digital world. For me, the way in which I have kind of met this goal most effectively is a way I didn't really understand before, and that is I have an understanding of what it means to be a digital citizen, and I have a perspective on it which is kind of a growth mindset. I am looking at the skills that positively create a good digital citizen. And I'm not looking at it from kind of a prohibitive lens where I'm worried about what could happen to my students and avoiding all the dangers. I'm looking kind of more in a way to empower them so that they have the ability to build the digital landscape that they want to participate in, that they want to click and scroll through when they are out about in the digital world. And I think this is really important because technology isn't something that's going to become less integral to our students' lives. So I think building these positive habits, very much in kind of an SEL kind of way, but SEL really focused on technology is what I would like to have happen. Moving forward, what I would like to do, and I talked about it in my discussion forum 7, is find a way to make kind of like an epistolar kind of back and forth with students in a digital medium, or create a really limited scope blog space for the classroom. Basically, what I want to do is create a scaffolded, safe, limited, controlled environment where students can engage in these behaviors, see them modeled by myself and their peers effectively or ineffectively, and work to create a really positive environment. So what it's going to do is hopefully build those skills, and also they can see and experience, oh, this is what a really comfortable, great digital environment feels like. So when they go into a space and they don't get that, they say, I have the skills to build something that's going to feel better to exist in. So that's hoping that I can do that. It's lofty goals, but I think there's some really straightforward ways to do that, especially in a language setting. We're constantly talking about what our words mean and what our actions and words, how they're understood by someone who maybe has a different literacy or whole vocabulary from us. So I think that's something that's going to mesh well with a language classroom. My second standard is ISTE Standard 2.4, Collaborator. Educators dedicate time to collaborate with both colleagues and students to improve practice, discover and share resources and ideas, and solve problems. So within the scope of this course, I feel like this is the ISTE standard, the goal that I've met the most completely. Admittedly, this has been easy for me because this seems to be kind of the whole goal of this course, is to both understand technologies that can be used, and also between myself and my cohort mates, build up these skills and habits that create that positive collaborative culture. Just making my toolkit, I found a lot of support and a lot of great sharing happened just between Anna, Christina, and I. And I feel like I've been reading all of the discussion forums, and when I see some really good resources, I will curiously go into them and kind of cherry pick some of the things that I think are going to work really well. And I actually have on my OneNote a little list that is just like tech resources that I want to integrate into my classroom and I want to bring into my student teaching experience. And so I find that's a positive effect. I'm picking up, I think, some of those habits. Moving forward, what I would like to do is practice what I'm kind of preaching right now, and that is bring a lot of these resources into the conversations I'll be having in the next couple weeks with my mentor teacher about fall and about planning for student teaching, so that I can imbue technology a little bit more meaningfully into my classroom, and also see how she uses technology, see why perhaps I'm seeing a limited use of technology, and that may be because she's got a very important pedagogical focus to why she's not using it, or maybe she's using it a lot and I'm just not seeing it. And so there's just a lot of conversations I know how the vocabulary to have And also, habits. I'm going to be talking to a lot of the other teachers in my placement about what they're using, what's effective, what's not effective. Hey, what cool thing have you been using that you've really liked? What's something that you're secretly always using that you just never tell anyone about, but that's awesome. I feel like I have really built up some good habits, and I'm not so afraid to use technology. I'm excited for the possibilities that it provides. Um, my last standard is ISTE Standard 2.5, Designer. Educators design authentic, learner-driven activities and environments that recognize and accommodate learner variability. So this standard is one that perhaps I've had least ability to engage with. I've gotten a lot of resources that have given me ideas about engagement and about different ways technology could be used. But looking back on it, this standard is really for designing, implementation, and then reflection. I need to have lessons I'm giving to students, and I see how effective they are, and I need to have an authentic cycle of design, implementation, reflection, more design, more implementation, more reflection, and that just doesn't work great in a summer quarter. But again, I did learn about how technology can be used, and a lot of the videos and a lot of the discussions about meaningful integration of technology are things that I have been internalizing, and perhaps a way in which I've really met this goal, or I've made progress towards this standard, is that I have a lot less worry about implementing technology in the classroom, like I said. So moving forward, what I want to do, and kind of a concrete goal of mine, is to have one meaningful, like larger integration of technology into my placement classroom. I want to, like I said, have some sort of digital blog space, or I want to find a cultural exchange kind of technology or program online that I can implement. I think there's some ways that I can use a lot of the gamification of learning via technology in my Spanish 1 classrooms. But also I think the higher level stuff can really be addressed with my AP Spanish kids. I mean, it's going to be a really fun class. I know a lot of the students, they're really excited about learning. So I think those kind of cultural things are something that I could implement, and that would be rigorous and challenging enough to meet an AP student head on in a way that they won't be frustrated, that they'll be really energized by it. So that's what I'm hoping. And overall, for my future plans, again, I just want to have my classroom feel kind of awake and alive with technology. There are few resources in my district, it seems, to get students engaged with kind of international things and culture. And I know there's a lot of local culture, but what I want to do is have students understand that technology can be a way to interact with all of these places we're learning about. If I do a lesson on Spain, here we're going to go to these websites, we're going to watch these videos, we're going to have authentic interactions with people on different websites. And again, that digital citizenship thing aspect is something I've really internalized and I really want to build, because I do notice that my students have this idea that's been ingrained in them that technology is really dangerous. And I want them to realize it's a really great tool, but just like any tool, we just need to know how to use it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I've learned a whole heck of a lot during this course. Thank you so much.